The turkey sits in the middle of the table, golden and perfect, steam rising into the air. Candles flicker in their brass holders. The smell of sage and butter fills the dining room. I'm halfway through telling everyone about the time I worked 3 jobs to keep the lights on in our old apartment, back when Desmond was just a baby, when Rochelle's fork hits her plate so hard it sounds like a gunshot. "Oh my God, Verna!" Her voice cuts through the room like a knife. "Shut up, old woman. No one cares about your stories." My hand freezes on my water glass. The room goes silent. I look at my son, Desmond, sitting next to his wife. His face turns red, but his mouth stays closed. Across the table, my daughter Imani sucks in a breath. My 8-year-old grandson Killian stares down at his mashed potatoes like they might save him. Rochelle keeps going. "We've heard this 1,000 times. You worked hard. We get it. But we're trying to have a nice meal here, and you're making it all about you, again. Hi, viewers. Kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is." I set my napkin on the table. My chair scrapes against their polished hardwood floor, the floor I helped pay for when they renovated last spring. I stand up. Nobody moves. "Where are you going?" Desmond finally speaks. "Home." I grab my purse from the entryway bench. The cold November air hits my face as I step outside. Nobody follows me. The door closes behind me, and I hear nothing but the wind and my own breathing. My phone buzzes in my purse as I walk toward the street. I don't look at it. The Uber driver doesn't ask why I'm leaving a Thanksgiving dinner early. I sit in the back seat and watch houses blur past, their windows glowing warm with families who maybe appreciate each other. My phone buzzes again. Then again, I turn it off. Back at my hotel room, I order a club sandwich I can't eat. My hands won't stop shaking. I open my laptop and stare at the screen. The white light makes my eyes hurt, but I don't look away. Here's what Rochelle doesn't know about me. Here's what she never bothered to ask. My name is Verna Caldwell. I'm 68 years old. I grew up in rural Mississippi in a house with 2 rooms and a leaking roof. My father picked cotton until his hands bled and his back gave out. My mother scrubbed floors for white families and came home so tired she could barely stand. I watched her feet swell in shoes that were 2 sizes too small because she couldn't afford new ones, but I watched my father cough himself to sleep every night, his lungs destroyed by pesticides and years of dust. I promised myself I'd be different. I got a partial scholarship to a state school. Partial, not full. I worked in the cafeteria at 5 in the morning, in the library until midnight, cleaning dorm bathrooms before my 8 o'clock classes. I studied business and finance while everyone else partied. I graduated with honors and 2 job offers. I took the one that paid less but taught me more. By 30, I'd saved enough to buy my first property. A rundown duplex I fixed with my own hands. I rented it out, bought another, then another. I learned contracts, I learned negotiation. I learned how to spot a bad deal from a mile away. I got married, had Desmond and Imani, got divorced when their father found someone younger. I raised my kids alone. 60-hour weeks. Missed soccer games. Missed school plays. I ate ramen so they could have name-brand cereal. I wore the same winter coat for 10 years so Imani could have a prom dress that made her feel beautiful. And I built an empire. By 50, I owned 18 properties. By 60, 42. Commercial buildings, residential units, a stake in a downtown development project that turned into a gold mine. I never told my kids because I wanted them to earn their own pride. I wanted them to know what it felt like to build something themselves. Imani got it. She became a nurse. Bought her own house. Calls me every week just to talk. Desmond married Rochelle. Rochelle came from money, the inherited kind, not the earned kind. Her parents paid for the wedding, paid for the honeymoon, paid the down payment on their first condo. When that wasn't good enough, I helped them buy the house, quietly, through an LLC I control. I told Desmond the bank gave him a great rate because his credit was excellent. He believed me. I watched Rochelle decorate that house with furniture that cost more than my first car. I watched her hire a nanny even though she only works part-time. I watched her roll her eyes every time I visited, every time I tried to share a memory. "Times are different now, Verna," she'd say. "You can't compare your experience to ours." Maybe she was right. Maybe I couldn't. But I could compare respect. I pull up my banking app. My finger hovers over the account I set up years ago for emergencies. The one Desmond and Rochelle have access to. The one they've been using for everything. New furniture. Trip to Hawaii. Killian's private school tuition. I click remove access 3 times. It's done. Then I open my email and find the message from my attorney, Grady, the one I asked him to prepare last month, just in case. I'd had a feeling things were heading somewhere bad. Rochelle's comments had been getting worse for months. Must be nice to be retired. Some of us still have to work. You wouldn't understand. It's a young person thing. The mortgage on their house, the beautiful 4-bedroom colonial in the neighborhood with the good schools, that's in my name. They don't know that. Desmond thinks he qualified for it himself. What actually happened was I co-signed, then quietly paid off 60% over the years, restructuring the loan under my LLC. Grady helped me set it up. Protection, he called it. Smart asset management. I type, proceed with option 7. Option 7 means canceling the mortgage agreement. There's a clause buried on page 18 of the paperwork that lets me do it. They'll have 30 days to refinance or buy me out. At current rates, with their actual income and debt, they won't qualify for even half what they need. I hit send. Then I book a flight to Portugal, one way. I've been thinking about Lisbon for years, the yellow trams, the tile-covered buildings, the beaches where the water stays cold even in summer. I have friends there, people I met at a conference who've been telling me to visit, to stay a while. Why not stay forever? I pack my suitcase in the small hotel room that suddenly feels too tight, too full of everything I'm done with. My phone keeps buzzing on the nightstand. I leave it off. The flight leaves at 6 in the morning. The airport lounge is nearly empty. I drink terrible coffee and watch the sun come up over the runways. My phone stays off. I turn it on once just to send a text to Amani. I'm fine, taking a trip. We'll call you when I'm ready. She responds in seconds. Mom, what happened? Desmond is freaking out. I turn the phone off again. On the plane, I sit in business class, my miles, my money, my choice, and eat warm nuts from a ceramic bowl. The flight attendant calls me Mrs. Caldwell and asks if I need anything. A glass of wine and 8 hours of sleep. I get both. When I land in Lisbon, it's raining. Soft rain, the kind that feels like mist on your skin. My friend Celine picks me up at the airport in her tiny European car that smells like lavender and old cigarettes. You really did it, she says, grinning. She's French, lives in Portugal for the weather and the tax benefits. We've kept in touch over email and video calls for years. You left. I really did. She drives me to the apartment she helped me rent, a 2-bedroom place in Alfama, the old neighborhood, with a balcony overlooking the Tagus River. White walls, scuffed wood floors. It's perfect. I turn my phone back on. 104 missed calls, 63 from Desmond, 21 from Rochelle, 15 from Amani, 5 from numbers I don't recognize. There are texts, too, dozens of them. Desmond, Mom, please call me. Desmond, what did you do? Desmond, the bank called. They said the mortgage is canceled. What does that mean? Rochelle, this is insane. You can't just do this. Rochelle, we have a child. You're going to make your grandson homeless? Desmond, Mom, please, we can talk about this. Amani, I don't know what's going on, but I love you. That last one makes my throat go tight. I text her back. I love you too. I'm safe. I'll explain soon. Then I block Desmond's number, block Rochelle's number, block everyone except Amani and Grady. I walk out onto the balcony. The rain has stopped. The river sparkles under the afternoon sun. Somewhere below, a street musician plays guitar. The air smells like salt and fresh bread. I sit down in a wicker chair and let myself cry for the first time in 40 years. My phone rings. It's Grady. They're panicking, he says. He sounds almost amused. Desmond's lawyer sent a letter. They're threatening to sue. On what grounds? Emotional distress, undue hardship. It's nonsense. The contract is airtight? Good. They have 27 days left to refinance or pay you out. The buyout amount is $460,000. I do the math in my head. They don't have it. Rochelle's parents might, but I doubt they'd hand over that much. And no bank will give them a loan that size. Not with Rochelle's shopping habits and Desmond's car payment. What happens if they can't pay? The house goes to auction. You'll recoup your investment plus fees. They'll have to move. I look out at the river. A white ferry crosses the blue water. Let it play out. I hang up and sit in the quiet. No buzzing phone, no passive-aggressive comments, no one telling me to shut up. Just the sound of the guitar and the river and my own breathing. For 3 days, I don't hear from Desmond. I explore Alfama. Narrow cobblestone streets, tiny shops selling ceramics and cork products, cafes where old men play cards and drink espresso. I eat pastéis de nata that melt on my tongue. I buy groceries from a market where no one speaks English, and I point at what I want. Celine introduces me to her friends. They welcome me like I've always been here. On the 4th day, Imani calls. Mom, what is going on? She sounds exhausted. Desmond is losing his mind. He says you canceled their mortgage? I didn't cancel it. I enacted a clause in our agreement. Why? I tell her everything. About Thanksgiving. About Rochelle's words. About the years of dismissive comments. The little reminders that I was just the old woman in the corner who didn't understand the modern world. Imani is quiet for a long time. She said that to you? She did. And Desmond didn't defend you? He didn't say a word. Another long silence. I'm sorry, Mom. It's not your fault, sweetheart. What are you going to do? I'm going to live my life. Here in Portugal. I found a language tutor. I'm learning Portuguese. There's a cooking class on Thursdays. I'm happy, Imani. Her voice cracks. I miss you. Come visit. I'll buy your ticket. Really? Really. After we hang up, I feel lighter. At least one of my children understands. That evening, Grady forwards me an email from Desmond. Mom, I don't understand why you're doing this. We're your family. Killian is your grandson. You're hurting him, not us. Please, can we just talk? I'm sorry if Rochelle upset you. She didn't mean it. She was stressed. Please come home. I read it twice. Then I write back. Desmond, I spent my entire life making sure you had opportunities I never did. I worked myself to the bone so you could have a childhood I didn't. I gave you everything I could, and I never asked for much in return. Just respect, just kindness, just acknowledgement that my stories, my life, my sacrifices mattered. Your wife told me to shut up. You said nothing. You have 24 days to figure out your housing situation. I suggest you start looking. I sign it, Mom, and hit send. I don't hear from him again. Week 3 in Lisbon. I'm in the cooking class Celine told me about. The kitchen smells like garlic and olive oil. There are 8 of us, mostly older women, a few men. The instructor is Portuguese and speaks broken English, but we all understand through gestures and laughter. I'm chopping onions next to a woman named Teresa. She's 72, originally from Brazil, with hands that move like a professional chef's. You're new to Lisbon? She asks. 3 weeks. You like it? I love it. She smiles. I came here 30 years ago, left my family behind in Sao Paulo. They wanted to control my life. Who I married, where I lived, how I spent my money. I wanted freedom. Do you regret it? Best decision I ever made. She scoops the onions into a pan. They wanted me to be small. I wanted to be big. I understand that completely. On day 29, Grady calls. My stomach drops before he even speaks. They secured the funds, he says. How? Rochelle's parents. They paid the buyout in full. $460,000. The house is theirs now, free and clear. I sit down on my bed. I hadn't expected this. So they win? Depends on how you define winning. Grady pauses. Desmond now owes his in-laws nearly $500,000. And from what I understand, Rochelle's father attached some conditions. Like what? Like Rochelle has to go back to work full-time. Like they're selling the Tesla. Like no more vacations or luxury purchases until the debt is fully repaid. And the repayment schedule is aggressive, 5 years. I smile for the first time in days. Sounds fair? You still got what you wanted, Verna. They know you're not someone to dismiss. After we hang up, I walk out to my balcony. The sun is setting over the Tagus, painting the sky orange and pink. A flock of birds flies across the water. I don't feel triumphant. I don't feel victorious. I feel free. Amani visits in December is some. She arrives with a suitcase and a smile and hugs me so tight I can barely breathe. We spend a week walking along the river, eating in small restaurants, exploring bookstores and museums. We talk about everything except Desmond. On her last night, we sit on my balcony with wine and cheese. The air is cool but not cold. You taught me something, Amani says. What's that? That it's okay to walk away from people who don't see your worth, even if they're family. I reach over and squeeze her hand. She smells like the same shampoo she's used since high school. I'm proud of you, sweetheart. I'm proud of you too, Mom. After she leaves, I start the process of becoming a permanent resident of Portugal. So I sell 2 of my properties back in the States and donate the money to a scholarship fund for first-generation college students, kids like I was, working 3 jobs and dreaming of something better. I stop checking my phone for missed calls. I stop wondering if Desmond will apologize. I start living. 6 months later, I'm sitting on the rooftop of my building with Celine, Teresa, and a few other neighbors. We do this twice a week now, gather at sunset with wine and food and stories. The rooftop has potted plants and string lights and a view of the whole city. Teresa is telling a story about her first year in Lisbon, how she got lost on the tram system and ended up in a neighborhood where no one spoke anything but Portuguese. Everyone laughs. Someone refills my wine. Then Teresa turns to me. Verna, you're so quiet tonight. Tell us a story. For a moment, I hesitate. Old fear, old habit. Then I smile. Okay, let me tell you about the time I worked 3 jobs to keep the lights on when my son was a baby. They lean in, they listen. And when I finish, they ask questions. They want to know more. They care. It's everything I needed. A year after I left, I get an email from Desmond. It's short. Mom, I'm sorry. I should have stood up for you. I should have said something. I was wrong. I hope you're happy wherever you are. I don't respond right away. I save the email and think about it for weeks. Finally, I write back. Desmond, I forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't mean things go back to the way they were. I'm building a new life here, and I'm happy. I hope you and Rochelle learn to appreciate what you have. Give Killian a hug for me. I don't offer to visit. I don't invite him here. Some doors, once closed, stay that way. I'm 70 now. I wake up every morning in my apartment in Alfama and make coffee on my little stovetop. I walk to the market and buy fresh bread. I take Portuguese lessons twice a week and still sound terrible, but my tutor says I'm improving. I have friends here, real friends who see me, not what I can give them. I tell my stories about Mississippi, about working 3 jobs, about raising 2 kids alone, about building an empire brick by brick. And people listen. They ask questions. They share their own stories. I finally understand what I was looking for all those years. Not wealth, not success, just respect, just to be heard, just to matter. If you've ever been dismissed by someone you sacrificed everything for, you know this pain. If you've ever been told to shut up, to stop talking, to stop mattering, you know how deep that cut goes. But here's what I learned. Your worth isn't determined by people who refuse to see it. Your value doesn't disappear just because someone can't recognize it. To anyone fighting their own battle right now, your comeback is already being written. Stay quiet, stay sharp, and let your actions speak louder than their disrespect ever could. What lesson hit you hardest from this story? And if you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Would you have walked away, or would you have stayed and fought? Don't stop here. Click the next video on your screen right now and watch another story from our channel. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. See you in the next one.